So now that we have our mystery box pretty much feature complete, I want to go through and start tweaking some values as well as change how our actual weapon cycling works. So currently, if we look at our cycling, we can see that it is a constant rate. So the firearms are adjusting slowly, and then for the interpolation, they're going up too fast, they're going down too fast, and the actual what do you call it? The lid closing doesn't even match the audio. So we want to try to fix all this up. Now, starting with the actual values, this is pretty simple. I already know the lid interp just from listening. So I buy the gun and I grab the weapon, wait for the audio to stop. If we listen, we can hear that the lid closing, it takes about maybe a smidge over twice the time to actually close than the sound takes. So we can go to our lid interp speed, double that, and let's add a little bit extra, and we'll go to like 4.2 and give that a try. And that's a lot closer. So that's kind of our starting point. And then for the next part, I do know that the interpolation time for going up is roughly 12 seconds. And as we stand, we are quite a bit faster than that. So we want to go ahead and drop this down. Let's change the weapon mesh to finish interp speed. Let's try 30. And I have my timer here. Okay, and that took, or sorry, not 12 seconds to go up. It's like just a smidge over 4 seconds. My bad. So let me time it one more time. Okay, that was about right. Just a little on the long side. So let's try, we'll just jump it down a tiny bit to 28. And then we have an issue where the ending, so the firearm going down, is happening quite a bit too fast. So instead of being 20, let's try 10. So this one should take right around the 12-second mark. All right, I started the timer. And once the press F to go away, I'm going to stop it. And it should be around, hopefully, the 12-second mark. And it's just barely over 12. So that's going to be our values. So we want to go ahead and set those as the defaults. So lid interp speed, let's go to our header. Lid interp speed, we're at 4.2. Then for the interp to finish, we're at 28. Then for the ended interp speed, we are at 10. So we at least have those resolved. So next up, I want to change how the weapon is actually cycling. Because right now, again, it's just at that constant rate. And it doesn't look good. So let's go ahead and set that up. So if we head over to our, where is it at? Our purchase in progress, we're basically creating a timer that is cycling through basically the weapons every half second. And I don't want to do this via a timer because we're going to be constantly updating the interval. So what we're going to do is go ahead, go to our tick function, look at our logic here. So if the interaction has not finished, we want to do some stuff. And specifically, if the interp to finish has not completed, meaning the firearm is still rising up, we want to be cycling. So if the interp to finish complete is false, we want to continue to cycle the weapon. Now, I'm going to go ahead and make this its own function because otherwise we're going to end up just making our tick even larger. So let's go ahead, go to our header, do a void cycle weapon. And this can take in a const float delta time. Go ahead, create the definition. Pretty sure I did not click create inline, but it's going to anyways. And now we have our cycle weapon. So we can go ahead and call that. So cycle weapon and pass in delta time. Okay, so in cycle weapon, what we want to do is basically have an accumulator. And that accumulator is going to be constantly added to by delta time. So I'll explain why shortly. So let's go ahead and create that accumulator here. So float, let's do weapon cycle accumulator. And we'll set it to 0 by default. And we're just going to take the weapon cycle accumulator and add delta time to it. Then our check is going to be if the weapon cycle accumulator is greater than a certain value of x, then we want to set it to 0 because we want to restart or basically reset the value and we want to cycle the weapon. So we can go ahead and take our weapon cycle logic here, remove the timer, and let's also remove it from the header, and we can paste the logic in. So once the weapon cycle accumulator has increased by, greater than an interval of x, we cycle the weapon. And that's kind of how we're going to go about doing this. So we need to basically constantly be defining x. Also, I can see we're using the timer here. Let's just remove the clear timer to get that to not complain. So we need to figure out x. And to do that, we're going to go ahead and make a new value. And let's call it the float weapon cycle interval. And again, we'll set it to 0. So if the accumulator is greater than the interval, then we cycle the weapon. So how do we get the interval? Now, in our case, it's going to be very easy because we're basically going to be doing a lerp. And to do a lerp, we need an alpha. And to get our alpha, because we are setting the, our start position is basically a 0 vector, all we have to do is take our endpoint and subtract out our current point and divide it by the endpoint. And that's going to give us our kind of our range between 0 and 1 that we can use to drive the interval. So how fast we're going to be cycling. So we can go ahead and do a const float, and let's call this one the weapon cycle speed alpha. And we'll set that to the weapon mesh to finish. Where is it? Weapon mesh interp finish location. Then we want to subtract out the current weapon location, which is the weapon attached component, get relative location. Now, because we're going to be using a float for this, let's go ahead and do dot size. And then we want to divide. We're going to go ahead and divide out the weapon mesh interp finish location dot size again. So that'll give us our range between 0 and 1, which is pretty much our alpha. So as the weapon moves closer to that finish point, the value is going to approach 0. As it moves farther away and goes towards the starting point, it's going to approach 1. So now that we have that, we can go ahead and do weapon cycle interval equals f math, and we want to lerp, and the A is going to go ahead and be the, what do you call it? The weapon mesh interp finish location. Then B is going to be not the location. I don't know why I'm going that route. It's going to be the interval speed, which we haven't actually defined. So we need to go ahead and define those. So let's make a new U property. This will be our float. Let's do weapon cycle. Let's do slow speed. And we'll do something like 0.1. Let's have another one, float weapon cycle fast speed, and we'll do 0.01. So we're basically lerping between these two. So for our lerp, we want our slow speed for A, and then our weapon cycle fast speed for B, and then we have our weapon cycle speed alpha. And that's going to be our basically value that goes between this and this. It kind of controls which one we are going to or from in our case. So now that we have that, I think we're pretty much ready to give it a try. So let's close out of the editor, recompile, relaunch, and see where we are at. All right, now that we are back in the editor, let's give it another try. So that is way too fast, but you can see it started out fast and gradually slowed down. So let's change that quite a bit. So our slow speed needs to be slower. Let's go up to 0.2, and same thing with our fast speed. So 0.2 and 0.02. So still on the fast side in my opinion. Try 0.3 and 0.03. And I like that. So obviously tweak how you want, but we're going to do 0.3 for the slow as the new default and 0.03 for the fast as the new, well, fast interp speed. So only thing I can think of is let's check in terms of clients, which everything should be fine. I mean, the logic wise, it's pretty much the same. And yeah, I'd say that's pretty much good to go. I just want to check the different scenarios of buying the gun, grabbing the gun, make sure everything just works, at least functionally. And I'd say we are done. So I can grab it. I can buy again. And I'm not sure if when you grab the gun in the actual game, if the sound cancels out. So yeah, that I need to kind of experiment with. But this will be the last check. Make sure that when it closes, I can get it again. And then I need to check up on that sound. Yep. So everything seems good there. I'm going to go ahead and investigate, see if the sound actually does that, and report back. All right, so for my quick test, no, it does not. So basically, in our case, we don't have a way around it as of now because we have this single audio component that when the interaction has finished, it's pretty much immediately swapped for the lid closing sound. So what we need to do to resolve this is just have another audio component. So it's not really a big deal. We'll just go ahead and add another one. And this will be the mystery box. Let's call it the purchase audio component. And then the mystery box lid close audio component. So in the purchase in progress, where we set the purchase sound, let's go ahead and just set that information there. And then where we have the lid closing, we can do the same and set it here. Now in the constructor, we have to do kind of more or less the same thing. So let's do the mystery box purchase and the mystery box lid, the lid closing audio component. So we have both of them created and set. Now the one thing I want to change is here and here, we're going through and setting the sound. I don't want to do that constantly. So what I'm going to do is just move these into the begin play. Yeah, so it's not a big deal. So we're going to take this, go to begin play, and we'll do it, well, in our case, our audio files are very short, but we could make it to where, oh, never mind, this is completely separate from what I was thinking, but we're just going to put it at the end there. Go down, do the same thing for the purchase. So cut the set sound, go up to begin play, and paste it in there as well. So this way we're just setting it once, and the only thing we're doing is just playing it. We're not doing anything else. So now we can close out of the editor, recompile, relaunch, and reset back up the audio that we want to use. All right, so we got a crash, and that's due to the naming of mystery box audio component already existing. And that's just because I forgot to rename these here. So I'm going to go ahead and set the names accordingly and hit play to recompile and relaunch again. Okay, once we are back in the editor, let's head over to our mystery box. I don't think I actually changed any properties here. Nope, those are all default. And just make sure we should have all of the default sounds and everything set, which we do. So let's give it another try. So now when we grab the gun, it should no longer immediately cancel the playing sound. So I'm going to start spamming F, like so. And that worked. We had the lid closing sound and everything, so we know we're good to go. Alrighty. So let's see. I think that's just about everything. I guess lastly, I do want to clean these categories up. That'll be very quick to do. So in our header here, where we have our U properties, have our audio components, and we have our sounds. So let's go ahead and add a subcategory. This will be audio. Then we'll have so we have our weapon related stuff. Let's see, for the cost, we can actually leave that as somewhat generic. So I kind of want to move that up a little bit. And these are weapon related things. So I'm going to actually move them below down here, kind of where we have, our accumulators and stuff. I think that makes more sense. So we have our components, we have our main, which is cost. I don't know where to really put that. Then we have our lid. So let's do a subcategory of lid. And then we have our weapon cycle. So this is the cycling settings. And I think that is it. All right. Go ahead and close out of the editor, recompile, relaunch, make sure they're how I like, and we are done. All right. Let's go back down to our settings. And there we go. We have our audio, our lid settings, and our weapon cycling settings, and then our cost. So overall, I am pretty happy with that and can't really think of much else to do. I think we are in a pretty good spot. I'm going to go ahead and consider, unless I completely overlooked something, the mystery box as complete. So with that out of the way, I will see you in the next video. If you like what I'm doing and you want to help support me, you can find a link to my Patreon in the description below, where you can also get early access to this entire series.